I'm amazed by the ability to construct an artificial life through the selection of images. To create a life not lived, or to destroy a life remembered. I remember a conversation that I once had with my mother. We went out to go have breakfast together. She talked to me like an incredibly personal friend. She told me about a life that she might have led if she hadn't married my father and if she hadn't had 2 kids. It was the first time that I ever saw her as a person, not just like my mom. And even though they might have been happy, I still don't think they would have been as happy as the way they are now. Once upon a time, in the land of Mexico, came a time of revolution, brought forth by economic and social repression. In an overpopulated city rose 2 individuals, one man and one woman, who met and fell in love. His name was Juan, and her name was Luz. They hung out, they became, they united, they got married, they had 2 children. I remember the day that I became self-aware of my status as an immigrant. I remember my parents locking themselves in their rooms as my brother and I pressed our ears against the wall, listening to the fights that we could not watch. We had no money. My dad and mom weren't happy, and it seemed that the decision that they had made to leave Mexico and go to the United States was to benefit and better my brother and I, even though it didn't seem that way. I make this film for 2 reasons. The first one is my brother. For without my parents, he would not exist. And without him, I'd probably be lost. Jose's the kind of person that's always taken care of me. The kind of person that's held my head up when I was throwing up after having a night of too much to drink. The kind of person that asks my opinion on things that matter. The kind of person that looks up to me. The kind of person that looks down on me. But most importantly, the person who is always gonna have my back, no matter what. He's a good guy. I love him a lot. I like to think about the life that my parents have lived. And even thinking about the possibility of them being happier without my brother and I hurts. But I look at them as people, and I can't help but think the kind of life that they might have had if it had not been for my brother and I. Once upon a time, in the land of Mexico, came a time of revolution, brought forth by economic and social repression. In an overpopulated city rose 2 individuals, one man and one woman, who met and fell in love. His name was Juan, and her name was Luz. They hung out, they became, they united, they got married, they grew old together. The young dreams that they once had of being astronauts and rock and roll stars quickly vanished, and their life became memories filled with friends and laughs, books, cigarettes. Having never had kids, Juan and Luz always wondered what it would have been like to have somebody to have passed things on to have somebody who would have remembered them, to live their name, and to be with them in the good, the bad, and all of the times. To know that their kids remember them dancing when they were really young. To be able to see them dance again when they were old. To truly admire, to truly represent, to forever live on. Cheers to this false fabrication of life, and thank God that it's not true.